One of the biggest pieces of gaming news that came out recently is that it's been officially confirmed that the original Silent Hill game is going to be getting remade by Bloober team. And while I'm a fan of that game and I think it's going to be a really great remake, especially after we saw how well Bloober team did with Silent Hill 2, one of the Silent Hill titles that I think would really benefit from a proper next generation remake or upgrade is Silent Hill 4. And the reason for that is Silent Hill 4, in my opinion, really capitalized on all of the really disturbing elements of Silent Hill 2 and meshed them with some of the Silent Hill lore in a really unique and interesting way. And at that time period, well, the technology felt relatively okay with the original Xbox and the PS2. I think seeing some of this game from a next generation perspective would really flesh it out. And in this video, I'm going to go over how some of that game, in my opinion, would be even better if we saw it as a next-gen remake. So let's take a look. So my trajectory for playing Silent Hill games actually started at the very second Silent Hill 2 with Silent Hill 2 Restless Dreams on the original Xbox. And then a number of years later when Silent Hill 4 was released, I jumped onto that title. Now, the reason I bring that up is Silent Hill 2 to me was a self-contained Silent Hill. You didn't really feel like you had to connect it to all the other games. And it was just kind of its own thing. And to me, that's the format that I really liked about that game, and it made it stand out amongst the other Silent Hill games. But Silent Hill 4 still did try to connect itself to previous Silent Hill titles, but one of the things I appreciated about it, after having played pretty much every single game in the franchise now, is that it didn't make it feel like that was like you had to play Silent Hill 1 and Silent Hill 3 to really fully understand it. Yes, that helped, and yes, it closed some plot threads, but it also felt like it was doing its own thing in a very unique way. And one of the things about that game that really stood out to me was that it played with perspectives in a way that other Silent Hill titles didn't. And what I mean is, even at the start of the game, you're in this first-person viewpoint and you're looking at things from a first-person perspective and slowly starting to realize that something's not right in this apartment. And to see that sort of approach and a next-generation approach, to me, I think would be something that would be just exciting, and it would up the level of disturbingness that we even saw in that original Silent Hill 4 that you could really capitalize on with next-gen technology. And what I also mean is, if you look at PT, that was purely played from a first-person perspective. And even the first time I saw PT and realized it was a Silent Hill offshoot that unfortunately never fully materialized, I immediately thought, this is like Silent Hill 4. This is going to be another Silent Hill 4. And I thought that that was a fantastic approach, a fantastic shift for that franchise. And I'm not saying that a Silent Hill 4 remake should be played entirely from first person, but I loved the perspective shift that you had when you were playing Silent Hill 4 and playing it first person in that apartment, especially as you watch your apartment get worse and worse and more haunted throughout the game. And when I think about that, and I think about some of the limitations of the old Xbox and PS2, and then you think about some of the things we can do or accomplish with the Xbox Series X or the PS5, I really think you would see something that would be just tremendously disturbing from that perspective. Now, further to that, one of the things about Silent Hill 4 that really made the game feel not just disturbing, but also tense and very claustrophobic was you had these ghost-type enemies who were, as I understand, technically victims of Walter, if you know the deep lore of that game. And being able to see some of those monsters realized in, like Unreal Engine 5 and have them realized in these environments, and being able to capitalize on that technology from these different consoles, the next generation consoles, I think would truly, truly be something special. Now, Silent Hill 4, when I look back at some of the Silent Hill games, to me it's Silent Hill 2 and Silent Hill 4 when I think about some of the best, most disturbing monster designs. And not even just in terms of monster designs, but the way that Team Silent made them move, made them act, and even the way Team Silent had them had the sound design paired with these monsters was something that I thought was just incredibly disturbing. And I think that being able to see a game like this realized by a company like Bloober, who did such a phenomenal job of not just facelifting, but adding to the existing Silent Hill 2 characters, monsters, and environments, being able to do that for a game like Silent Hill 4, I think we will see something that's truly special. Now, one of the downsides to this, and this is my wish list more than anything, and something I hope happens down the road, and hey, maybe it will if we see the smashing success of the original Silent Hill hit consoles and computers. But one of the things that means this might not happen is that Silent Hill 4 is a very divisive title. Even when I look at current groups I'm a part of that talk about Silent Hill 4 was a title that some people really loved, which was the camp I was in, or some people really disliked. To me, what I liked about Silent Hill 4 was it didn't deal too heavily in the cheesy cult stuff that we saw in 3, and it didn't overdo those elements, if that makes sense. It kind of just took what it needed to from the existing Silent Hill lore to propel itself forward, but capitalized on the psychological horror of a Silent Hill 2. And to me, it was, in a lot of ways, kind of its own thing. I always kind of looked at Silent Hill 1 and 3 as being kind of a continuation of one another, whereas Silent Hill 2 and 4 were kind of their own thing. And I would love to see a company like Bloober's take on that style of game with the Unreal Engine 5 technology pushing it to its limits. But the unfortunate part is I'm not sure the demand would be there. So this is, more than anything, to me, a pipe dream of something that I would love to see for a game like that. But who knows if we'll actually ever see it.